Hey guys, it's Angel, welcome back to the channel, and today we are taking a look at Iris's beautiful new PC21 turboprop trainer. Now, this aircraft, of course, developed by Pilatus as an advanced version from their PC7 Mark II. First flew, I believe, in 2002 and introduced in 2008. Now, the aircraft itself is a twin-seat stepped cockpit design of a tandem trainer, both for kind of intermediate to advanced military training. This thing has a ton of liveries that you can see here that come with it for different air forces around the Middle East, Australia, the Swiss, Royal Australian Air Force. Loads of people use them. They are rather wonderful. Now, Iris made this original aircraft back in FSX and P3D. This is not the same aircraft necessarily. This is a new version with new features and greatly improved upon a lot of those features we've seen from the original. So it's quite important to really note that this is a big improvement with what FS could do now. I'm going to pull you up the email I got from the guys over at Iris, because there's some information I do want to pass on to you from them. I had that a second ago. You know what internet browsers are like. We're expecting ETA before the end of November. Obviously there'll be some connection to Sim Update 11 with that. Pilatus, as the trademark owner, do have to finally approve of it, so there is that factor, because this is in partnership with Pilatus. Now, the improved code and more accurate systems compared to the FSX version, and because of that, a lot of that is to do with the work with partnership with Pilatus. Now, price-wise, they're looking at 35 Australian dollars. So, in human money, it's going to be relatively reasonably priced. We're looking at under 20. Now, the PC-12's performance is rather potent. By the way, we talked about operators: Australia, France, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Spain, Switzerland, UAE, and the UK. We have 2 for Kinetic at the Empire Test School at Boscombe Down. So it has a max speed of 370 knots, which is pretty impressive. It will stall at, I believe, 92 knots. Range is 730 nautical miles, and you can climb at nearly 4,000 feet a minute. Pretty potent, honestly. It does have hard points for fuel tanks and other things. There is a version that can do a counterinsurgency role. Without much further ado, let us aeroplane. Now we'll go outside here and we'll take a look around this beautiful PC21. Detailing on the exterior model is rather nice, I must say. Even the venting there. Let's try and nudge this forward without going too far. Rather nice. It is a very well modelled aircraft, I've got to say. The detail looks rather good. Let's do our landing gear check. It is obligatory if I don't go too far with my controller. We have a wheel well. We've got the external fuel tanks on this version. Chocks are in, they're connected to the battery, etc, etc, etc. And we have our crew. Now, yes, it's not the default crew, but you are able to, in the paint kit, change things like the patches and uniforms and things like that. At least that's how it worked in the last one. That and the Texan that Iris did back in the day. You could change the actual pilot's flight suit, patches on there, the helmets. Oh, love the burnishing on those exhausts. That's gorgeous. Okay, let's take a look inside, shall we? Put my flipping controller down here. Okay, so what do we got? We've got some fake mirrors because reflections have never really worked in the simulator, but they're there on the real aircraft, so they have to be. We have our fuel systems up here. Starters. We have throttle and flaps. Oxygen system. We have lighting there for displays. We'll take a look at those in a minute. We have a couple of pins we need to pull out, of course, which we'll do as we go along. We have fans. We have our radio stuff. The FMS, more lighting, we have icing, we have electronics, and we do have, in this version, a back seat. Now this is not a straight up hood, this is a PFD kind of hood repeater, so it's a TV screen that will show you a view forward from the HUD camera with the hood laid over it. So you can fly comfortably in the back seat, and it has all the same instrumentation here that they would actually have. So we'll go back to the front here. Now we are going to close the canopy early in this flight. Do I need to unlatch this? Oh no, I need to pull the pin out. There we go. Yep, got to get the canopy fracture system pin. And we'll pull our seat pin at the same time. They will fly up there and go over to their slots in the canopy where you can see they've been pulled. And now we are able to actually operate the canopy. So we'll check our parking brake is set. Excellent. Canopy is latched. So let's get this thing started up, shall we? Batteries on. FMS on. Hood on. Okay. Those are good to go. I believe these are starting up, or I'm going to press the wrong button again. But we have got power. So we could do auto start, or we could do starter and ignition. We're just going to use auto start for today, which will give us our full system kick up here. Get the engine running here. Anti-skid needs to be on. Okay. We're at 16%, so we go hit the engage, and this will spool up. Everything's working itself out here. So we've got brightness for all our settings here. This is all synced itself in and systems are online now. So generators on. Engine sound is pretty raucous in this beast. Let's make sure everything is right. There's an invisible click spot for the hood brightness here. Which, did I turn the hood on down on this panel? There we go. So we'll have that on there. Why is my head offset? That's a weird one. Oh, there we go. That's the hood. Okay. I don't know why my head's offset suddenly. We'll just nudge ourselves to the side a little bit here. Okay, so hood is functional there. We have that operating. All our systems in the cockpit and the aircraft are working as they should be. Fuel pumps are set correctly. Why is it annoying me? Go away. So of course we have all our usual systems here. I'll just turn my head off for a split second. As we take a look through here, we have our comm system in the up front display. So we can set our comms frequencies. We can set, where is it? Our ILS information. We can set TCN. We've got fuel readouts and numbers. We have navigation input. We have various other features here. Transponder. These will all work as well. MSN data as well, so we can give different various speeds and factors into our planning for a mission. As we look down here, all these systems and functions do actually operate. Of course, the FMS is down here and is operational, including down to various things like our thrust limiting, takeoff approach speeds, position, identities. Everything is working there. We can set all those as we want to. Performance data here. Set all our V speeds as we need them. Now let's take a look at the lighting as it goes to darkness here, shall we? Because our lighting's down here. Now I am working with a release candidate, by the way. This is not the final version that will come out, so there are going to be most likely changes. Oh, that needs to be on as well. Oxygen power on. And that should stop crying at me. Behind the stick here, we have our autopilot functions there. Various different valves and features here. Autopilot functions down here. On our screen here, we can go to various things like electrical, fuel, ECS, engine data, system information or not. Some of these things require you to press certain specific buttons. We can even let the AI take over certain various functions there. External tank control, we've got GPU connection, disconnection. So, cockpit. Rear. And we're in the back here. So, I believe I just roll one of these. There we go. Hood brightness, and is this the camera down below? I'm clicking the one in the front, I believe, through the visibility of it. But we're looking at a building right now, so the camera's not exactly seeing, unfortunately, a ton. But we can switch to the back seat, no problem whatsoever. We could even switch this to the front as well. So we can go with our avionics to wherever we need them to be, which is rather cool. So lights will be nighttime. So we could set them down to a certain darkness. I believe we could even change that out. Yeah, we could even put the F-18 hood in there if you prefer it. Or we could put the actual correct PC21 hood in there. So let's go to darkness and see what this looks like. So, not oppressively bright. That's pretty bloody bright, in fact. Find the... It's a hidden click spot for the HUD brightness. I'm trying to find out where it is. It's between the... There we go. You can dull that right down. And you could... Off. On. Increase brightness as we prefer. So we can see it nicely, and it's not going to be too oppressive for us. All the instrumentation dulls down really nicely. Leaves it lights to dawn dusk where it's brighter. We can have lights to day mode where they're much brighter. So we have more controls, I think, than a lot of aircraft actually offer us at the moment. Okay, let's go back to daytime, shall we? Okay, wonderful. We love faffing around, I think. Let's get ourselves in the air. We've been farting around for quite a while now. My head's... See, this was fine when I was testing earlier, but this is due to my head tracking that it's positioned itself off somewhat here, so we'll just sidle ourselves along there. And we are ready to taxi, so let's get our parking brake off there. Cockpit canopy is latched. We are good to rock and roll. Now, you do not actually have beta range in this engine the way it's configured. You just have literally 0 to 100 on the throttle. So you're not worrying about where your throttle's placed if you're a turboprop. You can go past your flight idle notch and actually sit in what would be normally beta range, and it won't affect it at all. So, there is that. Let's taxi ourselves out here. A little bit quicker the taxiway. We'll slow it down. But there's nobody else around here, so it's not like we're going to run into anything, is it? Good conditions today at Zell in Austria. I must say, texture-wise, it's not bad. It's not the best in the world, but it looks more than suitable. More than suitable. My only real gripe is the mirror appearance. It's one of those things where we don't actually have functional mirrors in the sim, so you have to do a good approximation, and yeah, they do weird things with the way the sim reflects light. So that's more of a sim thing than necessarily this aircraft, and they are a key feature of the aircraft cockpit, so they have to be there. I will say the hood is probably one of the best visibility ones I've seen on an aircraft recently. There are a couple of others, but this hood is good. I like this one. Okay. Right, we are set to rock and roll there. Set my prop back to full, which this isn't technically working as it's just got literally throttle control. Taxi out to the runway here. Watch the performance on this machine. We go full power. Watch our speed build here. 70 knots. I'm being very gentle on my climb out here. Flaps up. What are you whining about now? The fuel pumps, okay. Be quiet, bitching Betty. Stop annoying me. Yeah, so our climb rate is pretty fantastic. We're going through 4,200 right now, 4,500. No real drama whatsoever. 130 knots about. And she is absolutely happy with this. Gorgeous airplane, very loud. Really loud. The sounds are fantastic. Really, really, really good turboprop sounds. I will give them that. The sounds are really nice. I do like them a lot. So we'll level off here, pull our power back a little bit. Now she can go pretty fast, but we just don't need to, so we're not going to bother. In fact, screw it. Let's boom and zoom. Nice. Okay, we've got a nice warning there. Right. So, again, nimble aircraft, very nimble. Very solid performance. I like how it flies. I love the complexity of the systems, but they're also relatively simple too. There is a full manual guiding you through every system's operation and control and steps, and it really does make for a very interesting aircraft to fly. Someone who's not as familiar with these kind of tandem seat aircraft with the more, should we say, military trainers and military jets, it is really rewarding to have something that I can feel comfortable flying, because it does not really throw me into the deep end too much, and the glass is incredibly easy to use, I've got to say. Okay, we're pushing 200 knots here. We'll pull the power back. And we're going to get ready to roll her around and bring her down forward approach. Landing speed's about 110. So we are relatively quick, but also not too bad. We just don't have reverse thrust, which is something I'm used to using on a turboprop, but not what we have in this. So I'm going to have to be careful descending in this one. Although I could bring the speed down, I could just put the gear and flaps down and point the nose at the ground and we'll be okay. Valid tactic. If I'm going to do that, I'll bring the nose up a little bit, just kill some of the speed, bleed it off, because we have to get down in a hurry. The airport's over there, just above one of the fracture points in the canopy. Let's get it to 150 and I can drop that. Okay, we're good there. Alright, full flaps, gear is down. Gonna drop like a brick here. We'll just do a descending spiral. We are burning speed. Look at that, perfect. Is this actually a valid approach angle? Maybe it is. I'm gonna go for it. What do you think, folks? That's my runway dead ahead. Only about 2,000 feet below me from here. Extended final. We're about 19 knots over our ideal landing speed, but we should burn that off as we get further down here. And I could kill a little bit more of this speed if I wanted to. We'll aim a little bit low and we can just pull up and it'll burn off the last of the speed here. A little bit close to the hillside there. Yeah, this is an entirely valid approach. Absolutely valid. Nothing wrong with this approach in the slightest. Okay, I need to kill some speed here. That's it, come on. Knock the speed off. Knock the speed off, let's go. This might not be the brightest idea in hindsight, but it's the one we're going for. It's the one we're going for. 13 knots fast, 10 knots fast, 9 knots fast, 5, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown. I meant to do that the whole time. That's coming up awful fast. Please stop. Flaps up. Come on. Yeah, I meant to do all of this. This was completely intentional. Combat landing in a PC21? Why not? It worked, though. It flies predictably. And it's one of the most nice behaving turboprops I've actually flown in this sim. This and the SimWorks Kodiak are up there as the two best kind of handling turboprops. This one responds the way I'd expect it to behave, and given that it is a military trainer, it's definitely an interesting aircraft. I quite like this. Those weird kind of bands there appear to be a visual distance radius thing with reflective surfaces in the sim. I don't think I can blame that on Iris, but again, it's not insanely complicated texture-wise, but everything functions, which is the important part, I think, with an aircraft like this. I do like the fact it's got big systems depth to it. Everything is going to work exactly as the manual tells you to. I've read over the manual. I'm not an expert by any means, so there are systems I do not understand, and that is absolutely fine in my book because it's something I probably will take some time to learn. The little bit of stuttering I'm having right now, I do not believe is caused by this aircraft. I would normally call that out, but the reason why I'm not doing with this one is nothing to do with Iris. It's to do with the fact that I'm having some other issues that I'm trying to keep an eye on. So occasionally I'm experiencing a stutter or two. That is on my PC's end at the moment. It's definitely something I'm dealing with, so I cannot qualify, really, the performance impact of this aircraft. But I guess we'll have to find out. There are some other reviews out there. Maybe they'll give you a better example of that, but I cannot qualify that one point. I am having my own issues that I'm trying to solve. Now, it's only momentary, so it's not the end of the world. I love the layout. Buttons work as they should. Systems work. The biggest thing for me is the clarity of information. So many other aircraft have a huge problem with things being readable at a distance. Here, every lettering on the screen is readable. The HUD is readable and visible at all times. The brightness is correct on a lot of things, and everything is sharp and visible. I am not having to lean forward to read something information-wise. I can just see it all, which doesn't come on very many aircraft, and I do really like that. So yeah, the Iris PC21. Let's kill the old motor on this baby. Shut everything down. Take a look outside as it's getting a little bit quiet all of a sudden there. Gorgeous plane, fun to fly, really cheap price realistically, $35 Australian is going to be really good. And bunch of cool liveries. Turboprop go brr. And it's in partnership with Pilatus, so winner. I like this one. Hopefully you will too. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.